guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are here on the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia for the first drive of a SUV that I know that you've been waiting for. I've been waiting for as well. It's this vehicle right here. What is it? It's the all-new, redesigned 2024 Chevrolet Traverse. And guess what? It's even better because this is the all-new Z71 spec Traverse. But before we get into this off-road worthy 3-row midsize SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So we're here for the first drive, and not only do we have the Traverse, but we also have some real horsepower right over my shoulder here. Steven, show him the real horsepower. That's Mr. Ed. Him and I became friends for this first drive. He'll be riding shotgun with me, but let's talk about the Traverse. So it goes back to the mid-2000s, this new SUV from Chevrolet, and a lot has changed since the early 2000s. I know that sounds crazy, but the game in the mid-size SUV segment, the bar has been raised to new levels, and there's a lot of heavy hitters out there. You have, of course, the Telluride, the Pathfinder, you have the Palisade, even the Pilot is still there from Honda, and of course, the all-new Mazda CX-90. Now, when it comes to what people want and what people need, they want and need a lot more than they ever have. And that's where Chevy is going with this new Traverse, having it be a Z71 equipped version. There's going to be 4 different trims. This is the Z71. There'll also be the RS, the LS, and the LT. But what I want to find out is if you're looking for the best new mid-size crossover SUV, do you go, say, with a Toyota Highlander Max, because they have that Grand Highlander, or maybe even a Pathfinder, or do you go with the new Traverse? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, the style and the shape definitely has been tweaked and falls more into perfect alignment with the other SUVs in Chevy's full range setup. Going from the Trax to the Traverse to the Tahoe, and we can't forget the Equinox. Now at the front of the business, you're gonna see that new face. And I love the way you have your bright LED daytime running lamp and turn signal mounted up top. In the lower quadrant, you do have your LED projector beam headlight. A little bit of dark chrome finish. I am gonna have to zonk this upper fake grill area. I wish that they would have put fog lamps here. That would have been a nice touch. But the good news is we do have functional air curtains. A little bit of flat black, full functional. And what I like about this being the Z71 equipped version is that you have a little bit wider track because you have real deal off-road tires on this off-road spec. Speaking of off-road, you have the required recovery points, the recovery hooks, to pull those lesser pretenders out of the mud, because we know, I've seen them, I've reviewed them, mid-size SUVs where they say they're off-road, but all it is some black badging, black wheels, and some running boards that are mounted too low. This is a real deal off-road vehicle for the mid-size crossover SUV segment. Even has underneath skid plates. So you have skid plates, the recovery hooks, and off-road tires. Plus we have an additional 1.5 inch higher rise to the actual suspension. So you're gonna get that real off-road potential. Now, as we come across the new grille, definitely looking more like the Tahoe. Full functionality up top. You got your blacked out bow tie. I like the dark chrome trim. The way they do, of course, the Z71 badge. Their badges always look good over at Chevrolet. Forward-facing camera. And then working our way down, this lower area is unique to the Z71. It's been re-sculpted to give you a better approach angle, a little bit of metallic silver, and then full functionality on the bottom portion as well. But definitely, like I said, the face of the Traverse has now become more modern. Now, as we rise up, I like the way they take the hood, do a nice crease fold along the edge above the upper grille. And then this harvest bronze color really sparkles like a glass of root beer. I'm really digging the color. I chose this one specifically for this review with the scenery and everything else. It just really looks good in this Georgia sun. I like the way you have the two lower points on both sides of the hood. Gives it a nice kind of muscular look without being too over the top. And I think that's one of the things is you look at like the Traverse, the outgoing Traverse, the outgoing Equinox, very rounded. I don't really like that jelly bean look. That's why I like this Traverse so much more. And if you compare it to the competition, same thing. Look at the new Pathfinder, that Rock Creek edition. It definitely has that more bold look. And of course, the bigger, badder Grand Highlander from Toyota. Now, as we come around the bend, let's talk about wheels and tires. So you're going to get, like I said, real deal off-road tires with the shielding. These are Goodyear Wrangler, Territory all-terrains, 265 on the width, 65 series sidewall, and an 18-inch wheel. Love the way it's got the V-spoke, gloss black, with the machined aluminum points all the way around. Suspension. Zoom on in, Steven. Let them see the shock absorber and the springs. Those have been fine-tuned on the Z71 to give you better wheel travel and also better grip. Now, this isn't meant to be a rock crawler, so don't think you're going to go and out to Moab and just go crazy on all the mountain cliffs. This is more for, obviously, when the terrain gets rough, but this is not for rock crawling. So get that out of your head. Flat black on the fender flare treatment. I think it's appropriate with it being a Z71 trim, but let me know how you're liking the wheels with the rest of the style. Like I said, I really think it falls in nicely to the Trax, the Trailblazer, the Equinox, the Traverse, the Tahoe, and the Suburban. Nice to have those touches. Now, as we rise up, you'll notice how they whip around, and I like the way they just went black on the upper housing here into the fender. Coming down the side, you got gloss black on your mirror caps, LED turn signals, 360-degree cameras, like the blacked out Traverse name. And even the way that they sculpted this lower portion, you could see how you have a lot of area underneath for clearance, which really makes sense. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, how much ground clearance do we have? You have about 7.5 inches of ground clearance on the Z71 equipped Traverse. Up top, you got the raised roof rails, gloss black. You can get your crossbars. You can put a cargo basket up there with a box of Twinkies. You can put all sorts of kayak, canoe, mountain bike, whatever you got. You can put it up there with the appropriate crossbars. Now, color matched on the door handles. You can see that nice sparkle to the Harvest Bronze. Working our way towards the rear, it's how they work the quarter window. I love the way they're getting very creative on the style. Gives it, like I said, that modern look, but also says Chevy in a very good way. Now, this vehicle has, of course, all-wheel drive. On the Z71, it has a unique dual clutch all-wheel drive system, and it also has a mode for the drive modes that's special for the Z71, and I'll show you those when we get to the interior. Now, as we work our way towards the back, like I said, good size on that quarter window, nice shape, like they did the lighting up front, same story on the back. And then as we bring it around, all LED lighting. And this is something that's refreshing to see on a model year 2024 vehicle. You do have a long roof spoiler with your third brake light blended in nicely. I just wish we could all get rid of these and just hide them underneath. Just have it swing down, would clean up the back and really make it even look better. But I do like the way that they did the cohesive design with everything blacked out. Traverse all-wheel drive. Of course, we got a Z71 badge. And then working our way down to grass level here, you got your quad tip exhaust with the stainless steel tips. Like the way it's got that nice square, rounded square look to it. Plus, this comes with the tow package. Take this off, you could tow up to 5,000 pounds with this Traverse. But if we're talking about towing, if we're talking about traveling, obviously we need an engine. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and talk about horsepower in this new Traverse. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Underneath the hood is another big change for the Traverse. Gone is the V6. Now, before you get upset, the good news is we have more horsepower and more torque than the outgoing Traverse. So what do we have going on here? That's a 2.5 liter inline 4 turbocharged engine. So no more naturally aspirated V6. When it comes to horsepower, how much do we have? You're looking at 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, so no CVT. And then you have a combined MPG. If you're doing all-wheel drive, combined 22 miles per gallon. So you're getting a little bit better MPGs, but where you're really accelerating is with the horsepower and the torque. But one of those things, let me know how you feel about it. There's other vehicles in this segment that have also been downsizing when it comes to engine displacement. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this four-banger and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Chevrolet Traverse, this being the Z71 trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I want to see this thing drive. I'm very curious about it. I love the way it looks. How much is it? Very good question. MSRP starting for a Z71 is $47,000. Let's see what you get for your money. To the door panels. I love the style that they're bringing. Soft touch material up top. The one area where I have to zonk it is that red trim. I feel like that belongs in the RS and not the Z71. I would have liked to have seen something a little bit more nature-esque or earth-esque, like a gray or a dark brown or something. But let me know in the comment section how you feel about that red. It almost looks like a snake's scaly skin texture design. It's cool. I just don't know if it's working in the Z71 for me. Now you are getting red stitching, which is really nice. Soft touch material. No gloss black around the switchgear. A little bit of shiny aluminum style finish. And then the door pocket is a nice enough size to where you could get 2 large bags of pecans in there. Georgia pecans and, of course, a bottle of pecan milk. You could turn anything into milk nowadays. We got the Bose sound system with that aluminum style trim. And then going from the door panel to the dash, I like the way they elevated the materials. The contrast stitching, that aluminum style finish. A little bit more of that red trim, but like I said, it's not killing me. I just would like to see a little bit different color. As you slide on in, we're going big in this Traverse. 17.7-inch infotainment system screen. I like the way it's angled towards me. It's got all the built-in Google Assistant and maps and everything else. I also like the way you could add these quick access buttons up top. So if you want to get in your cameras, wham bam, thank you ma'am. Look at the resolution. I could actually see every blade of grass out here. I could see every leaf that's on that tree. And we got the 360. You could go overhead and you could go side angle, especially for when you're off-roading. That's very, very important. Let me throw it into reverse. We have our new electric shifter, column-mounted shifter for the 8-speed automatic. Same thing, trajectory and clear as day. And then we go right back into park. I could pull up our home screen. It's got all the usual apps. You could get in your climate control, do everything on the screen. Look at the graphics and everything. 3 stages of heated seats. No ventilated seats on the Z71 trim. Let me know how you feel about that. But everything else, like I said, is exactly where you'd want it, how you want it. And let me show you how easy it is to turn it into the quicker icon. So say you do a lot of trailering. You just hold and then drop it. And then there it is. And now you don't want it anymore. put it back. It's gone. Easy to use, and I can appreciate that. You have a real volume knob, fine-tune your music. You do have your dual climate control, toggle switches for the AC, so you have some real physical switch gear and knobs, wireless charging, and you can take one of those large iPad-style phones, do your wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A, and you got a 12-volt down in there. 2 cup holders. I'm not digging the gloss black here. It's a little gloss black heavy, so I am going to zonk that, but you do have the black bow tie on your key fob, remote start, which is really nice. And because we don't have a shifter here anymore, look at what we got down below. You have enough room for a purse, a purse, a fanny pack, a satchel, even a bag of balls you could put down here. Softballs, golf balls, whatever you're playing, whatever balls you're playing with this week. And then, of course, you have your compartment, open it up. Enough room, I would say, for 8 boxes of Tic Tacs. So if you have really bad breath because you love Funyuns, you can keep all your Tic Tacs in there. Soft touch with the stitching. Open it up. We got a nice little tray. This is where you can keep your full set of 1985 Fleer Atlanta Braves baseball cards. Keep those in there for when you're going to sell them when you go to retire. And then you have enough room in here where easily you could put 2 of those Magic 8 balls. And I'm talking about not what you think, the drug. I'm not talking about drugs, the Magic 8 ball. I'm talking about the Magic 8 ball that you shake up. Looks like an 8 ball from a pool table. You shake it up and you ask it questions. Some people that I know have made the most important life decisions by asking the Magic 8 ball. So if you have a question and nobody wants to answer it for you, that might be the best way to go. Seats, the leather, the red stitching, the Z71 embroidery. I love the way they doubled up on the stitching, on the bolstering. You do have manual adjustments for the passenger, but because I am captain of this off-road Traverse, I have electric adjustable seats over here. Up top, you do have power shade for our panoramic sunroof, which is nice. It's a little slow, but one-touch operation, and you do have your digital rearview mirror. But why don't you come over here at the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel with Super Cruise in this Traverse. All right, guys, here we are, business time behind the wheel. You do have the Chevrolet nameplate, goes back to the early 1900s. Louis Chevrolet to welcome you in. There's our seat controls, lower lumbar, all the adjustments. I'm 6 feet tall, and I love the room that you're getting in this reshaped Traverse. Steering wheel, the leather, the Z71 badge, looking good. Flat black on the switchgear. You do have a heated steering wheel. There's your Super Cruise. That's that hands-off autonomous driving. Down below, you have your mode selector. And like I said, there's different modes. I'm going to have Steven kind of reach across me and show you on the screen there that when we go into our different modes, I like the way it shows up. So you have sport, you got off-road, and then this one is specific to the Z71 terrain, trailering, and then back to normal. Love the graphics, love the fonts, and the fact that you have terrain mode specific to the Z71 makes so much sense. You want to go into all-wheel drive? You just hit all-wheel drive, and it puts you in all-wheel drive. Love the way it's just easy, simple. That's all it's got to be. Manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Right there is the control. You do have paddles on the back of the wheel to go up and down that 8-speed automatic. And then you do have that 11-inch digital gauge cluster, all new, super clear, and you have many different ways to display it. You want Google Maps? We could do you could do COM, or we could go, this is my favorite one here. I really like that setup, but nice the way everything has a super smooth flow to it. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the mid-row and see how much room there is for your passengers in this Traverse. All right, guys, we're in the mid-row of this new Traverse, and right away, you're just gonna really notice not only up front, more room in the mid-row. I can't wait to show you the third row. You do have sliding seats, and they do recline, and they made the armrest for the captain's chair just wide enough. If it was any narrower, that would get a zonk. I like the way it's got leather all the way around. You have large pockets where you could put maybe some bug spray, some anti-red ant cream or something on you in case the red ants out here are biting you. You do have your dual cup holders, and we have our rear AC controls with the temperature gauge, 2 USB-Cs, and a home power source. But you'll notice just how flat the floor is. Very impressive, especially because this does have all-wheel drive, because remember, you can get your Traverse front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And then we're just gonna go ahead and get into the back. We're just gonna roll it all together. You just reach up top. Look at how far the seat goes. Really, really like that. I'm gonna slide this one real quick. There we go. Let me bring up the recline so to show you legitimate what it's gonna look like. And then I'm just gonna climb into the, wow, this is actually pretty comfy. Not even close to the headliner. You got AC vents mounted up top. Sitting up straight, my knees are not on top of that second row. I got USB-Cs on both sides, a place for some yogurt or some Go-Gurt, and a place for some yogurt-covered raisins. I used to love those as a kid. My mom used to always give them to me because they weren't candy. She's like, have these instead of jelly beans. And I'm like, these are good. But the seats are definitely comfortable, and I like the way Steven showed them how you have the red stitching back here. So they give you the same material as everybody else has. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the cargo area, because guess what? This is the first drive of the Traverse. I want to take you for a spin. Let's get to it. All right, guys, cargo area time now. The great news is that the Traverse has a little bit of a piece of new technology. When you come back to the rear lift gate area and the doors are locked, if you have the key fob in your pocket, it will automatically rise without you doing a thing. And the nice thing about that is that you can keep your boxes of Twinkies in your hands and not have to put them on the ground. But I'm gonna do it the good old-fashioned way and just hit the button. Nice electric assist, rises up. And what I did was I left the third row in the up position, because this is really where the Traverse lays the smackdown on a lot of the competition. You're looking at 22.9 cubic feet of space with the seats up. And then you'll also notice how we have these tethers. Now, if you want a power folding seat, you have to go top trim, which is RS. But like I said, I'm okay with doing it this way, and it's a nice 60-40 split, and it's so easy. You're just gonna pull and push. Same thing on the driver's side. Pull, that folds down the headrest, and push. I went ahead and folded down one of the mid-row seats to let you see the amount of space that you maximize at when you fold down those seats. Now, with the third row down, you're looking at 56.6 cubic feet. You fold down both sides of the mid-row, that is gonna give you 97.6 cubic feet of space. And that is really one of those class-leading areas where, like I said, you can go to Costco, you could go to Lowe's, you could go to Home Depot, whatever you need, you have plenty of room, and you'll notice it's all totally flat, even when the mid-row folds down. Now, since we have the third row down, those are those USBs I was trying to get Steven to show you. So that's where those are located. And they're on both sides, which are nice. And then check out the storage space. You go on a family road trip, think about all the bags of Cheetos and Fruit Loops and everything else that you need, Fruity Pebbles, all of that back here. The one thing I got is Zonk, no drain plug. So you cannot use this as a cooler. That would have been so awesome. Why they won't do that is beyond me, but I do like the fact that the cargo floor stays in the upright position so that as you're putting things in, you don't have to go like this. You know, a lot of times you have to go. Don't have to do that. It stays up. That way you could load it up. If only it had a drain plug. I guess what I could do is go to Home Depot and get a drill and see if I can make my own. They probably wouldn't like that. But why don't we go ahead, seal that up, lock it down. If you're ready, I'm ready. It's that big moment. Let's go for the first drive together in the Z71 Traverse. All right, guys, surprise, surprise. We're gonna do a little off-roading, of course, if we're in this Traverse Z71. Right away, I have my cameras ready to rock and roll. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the all-wheel drive button, and then we're gonna also switch modes. So I'm gonna go into my different modes here. Actually, I'm gonna close this so I can show you the modes. We're gonna start off in off-road. And then we're going to switch to terrain mode, which, like I said, if you've been paying attention, terrain mode is a Z71 specific mode. Bring my camera back up. And if you're ready, I'm ready. Going into drive. Here we go. Are you ready? On throttle. Here we go. All-wheel drive. All that grip. Nice. Look at that. Very controllable. You could really feel the difference in the compression and the rebound damping and the shock absorbers with the Z71. Like I said, fine-tuned for this particular vehicle. And then we're just gonna follow our signs as we're going through the woods here. I love this stuff. Give me a little speed and some off-road and we're good to go. And I'm talking about speed as an acceleration. But look at this, really, really nice and balanced. You can feel the front and the rear of the car working with one another. I like this course that they have set up. But I'm telling you, the 2.4 liter turbo splashdown, look at that, a little bit of mud. That ain't gonna hurt anybody. But the way that the balance of the vehicle is, I mean, look at this. Nice. It's really, really controllable. I'm very impressed. And the 2.5 liter turbocharged engine, I feel like I'm right in the sweet spot of that torque delivery. On the brakes, here we go. It's like a road rally here. Yeah, going through the mud. Woo! But I'm telling you, the fact that the cameras stay up and active really allows you, like I said, to be able to see what's in front of us. Woo! Got to turn on the windshield wipers here. You know, one thing that Steven really wanted me to showcase, because he's always about, you know, side action, is being able to show the side camera views. And here we are at 360, and then there are the two sides of the vehicle. We're gonna go through this really tight tree line here, and I want you to watch on the cameras. And I'm gonna watch on the cameras because it's gonna allow me to be able to steer this Traverse without bumping off the trees here. So look at that. See how nice that is? You got your overhead with the 360, but then we also have the side view. You can see how close I am to that tree. It's getting that kind of assistance that makes you feel good behind the wheel. And that's what I like. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back into terrain mode, just because that one, like I said, is specific to the Traverse, the Z71. We're gonna go on throttle uphill. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. Nice. But boy, oh boy, if you need to take your kayak or your canoe to that secret lake or pond or whatever you found, this is really what it's all about. Now I'm gonna go back out front. Gonna go standard out the front. Got my trajectory, and watch this. Here's where we're gonna get a little bit of a approach and departure angle. So going up and over, I can't see what's in front of me. There could be a box of Twinkies that I'm about to run over, but because the cameras, I could see clearly. I was actually gonna have Stephen lay in the road there, but he's afraid that I'm gonna just run over him. Put in the comments section if you want to see me run over Stephen. I'm down. But this is just a really fun little course that they have mapped out for us, because it's really able to show what's going on with this all-wheel drive system. Auto throttle, here we go. Wow, definitely feeling the power there. Really nice. I love the way the back comes out a little bit, but it's really controllable. That's what's very telling about the system, is that it's very, very controllable. And then we're back on the pavement, back on solid ground. Well, now it's a little bit gravelly. Here we go, yeah! Nice. Doing a really great job of controlling all four corners of the vehicle. Nice, look at that. We're gonna catch that other Traverse. That was awesome. I tell you, I don't know if I've ever driven a Traverse where I've laughed and had such a good time as much as this one. Honestly, this thing has been a lot of fun. All right, guys, it's been another great day out here in Atlanta, Georgia. Definitely want to thank the whole Chevrolet team for having us out to bring you this all-new redesigned Traverse. Let me know what you think. Z71, is it better than going with a Toyota Highlander, Grand Highlander, or like I said, even a Nissan Pathfinder? Let me know which way you're gonna roll down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. Of course, we need to give it up. Stephen Flood Photography, working that camera like a champ. Just so you know, Stephen does hold a record for riding a horse bareback the longest distance in Pasco County. So definitely let Stephen know if you're a horse lover, because he can't get enough horses. He loves horsepower, especially when he's riding bareback. But thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.